Being strict with oneself is a way to motivate ourselves to achieve higher standards and develop personal abilities. This does not mean self-torture or excessive self-blame, but rather always setting high goals and persistently pursuing them. By demanding more from ourselves, we not only improve ourselves, but also become a good example for those around us. Welcome to Live Kindy. If you're looking for inspiration to drive progress and achieve your goals, join us in the next part of this new series. Don't miss the opportunity to receive valuable lessons and new motivation every day. Click the subscribe button now to not miss any useful information from us. Together, we will conquer challenges, rise up, and become the best version of ourselves. Give me by all means the shorter and nobler life, instead of one that is longer, but of less account. A noble life is not measured by its length, but by its quality and the values it brings. Living a short but meaningful life with good deeds and love can leave an everlasting mark on others. Those who choose to live nobly often devote themselves fully to the community and do beneficial things, leaving a valuable spiritual legacy for future generations. We often face the choice between a long but meaningless life and a short but noble one. Living long does not equate to living happily and meaningfully. What is more important is how we have lived, what we have achieved, and how we have influenced others. Choose quality over quantity. Live so that each day is meaningful and valuable. A noble life will leave behind an invaluable spiritual legacy. The lessons, experiences, and life values that we pass on will be the guiding light for others. Live sincerely, courageously, and fully, so that when we look back, we can be proud of what we have accomplished. The spiritual legacy we leave behind will continue to impact and inspire future generations. No great thing is created suddenly, any more than a bunch of grapes or a fig. If you tell me that you desire a fig, I answer that there must be time. Let it first blossom, then bear fruit, then ripen. Each stage in this process is necessary and cannot be skipped. Similarly, all achievements in life require patience and time to develop and mature. Respect and be patient with this process, as it is the foundation of sustainable success. If you say you crave a fig, I will tell you that it takes time. First, the tree must blossom, then bear fruit, and finally, the fruit must ripen. Likewise, to achieve great goals, we must be patient and continually strive. Every small step taken daily contributes to progress and ultimately leads to success. Remember, patience is the key to turning big dreams into reality. Each stage in the developmental process plays an important role and cannot be overlooked. From sprouting, flowering, to fruiting and ripening, all need to be properly cared for and nurtured. In life, we must also go through various stages to achieve success. Take time to learn, develop skills, and accumulate experience. Every step, no matter how small, is an important part of the journey leading to great things. It is unrealistic to expect people to see you as you see yourself. Each person has their own perspective and perception of the world around them, including how they perceive you. This depends on their experiences, values, and personal viewpoints. Therefore, it is unrealistic to expect everyone to see you exactly as you see yourself. These differences in perspective are natural and unavoidable. Instead of expecting complete recognition from others, focus on understanding and accepting yourself. Instead of seeking understanding and recognition from the outside, build confidence and self-awareness from within. When you know your own value and abilities, you will be less affected by contrary opinions from others. Remember, no one understands you better than yourself. Confidence and self-awareness will help you face inaccurate judgments and maintain your self-belief. Accepting that people have different opinions about you is an important step in building healthy and positive relationships. The diversity of viewpoints not only enriches your view of the world, but also helps you learn and grow. Instead of trying to change others' thoughts about you, focus on living true to your values and respecting differences. This acceptance will bring inner peace and improve the quality of your relationships. Freedom is secured, not by the fulfilling of men's desires, but by the removal of desire. When we are no longer bound by desires and cravings, our minds become lighter and freer. This freedom helps us live a peaceful life, content with what we have, instead of chasing after endless goals. Desires and cravings continuously increase, making us feel constantly lacking and unsatisfied. Pursuing material goals and fame only brings fatigue and stress. We become bound by our own desires, losing our freedom and inner peace. To be truly free, we need to learn to let go of unnecessary desires and seek joy in simple and meaningful things in life. When we let go of desires, we find true freedom. Life becomes simpler, the mind becomes serene, and happiness is easier to achieve. We are no longer pressured by our own and society's expectations, but live a life true to our values and real meaning. Learn to appreciate what you have, live simply, and seek joy in the small and genuine things. Difficulty shows what men are. Difficulties are the best test to discover the true nature of a person. When faced with challenges, latent qualities such as perseverance, courage, and the will to overcome adversity are clearly revealed. It is in times of hardship that we see who is truly strong and determined, who has the ability to face and overcome obstacles to move forward. Difficulties not only test us, but also provide opportunities to train and develop ourselves. Those who know how to face and learn from difficulties will become stronger and more skilled. They do not fear failure, but see it as a valuable lesson to improve themselves. Overcoming difficulties helps us build confidence and the ability to cope with all situations in life. Difficulties also help us realize the value of enduring relationships. In times of hardship, the support and encouragement from family, friends, and colleagues become extremely important. Relationships built and strengthened through challenges become stronger and more reliable. Appreciate and maintain these relationships, as they are the sources of motivation and strength that help us overcome all difficulties. We must not believe the many who say that only free people ought to be educated, but we should rather believe the philosophers who say that only the educated are free. Education is not only a right, but also a path to true freedom. Those who are not educated are easily limited by false beliefs and lack the ability to think independently. In contrast, educated individuals can analyze, evaluate, and make decisions on their own, thus living a free and autonomous life. Education opens the door to knowledge and understanding, helping us escape the constraints of ignorance. Many people believe that only those who are already free need education, but the reality is that only educated people are truly free. External freedom can be easily taken away, but true freedom lies in one's ability to think and have deep understanding. A person may be limited physically or socially, but if they possess knowledge, they can find freedom in their mind and intellect. This is the most sustainable and valuable form of freedom. Philosophers have long emphasized the importance of education in achieving freedom. Philosophy and critical thinking help us not only acquire knowledge, but also learn how to analyze, evaluate, and use that knowledge effectively. Learning from philosophers and practicing critical thinking help us develop the ability to think independently and autonomously, thus achieving true freedom. Do not just believe what many people say, but seek and trust in the value of education as the philosophers have taught. Is freedom anything other than the right to live as we wish? Nothing else. Personal freedom is the right to live in a way that we desire, unbound by unfair restrictions. This is one of the most fundamental human rights, allowing each individual to pursue their own happiness, passions, and goals. Personal freedom is not just about being free from oppression, but also the ability to choose and act according to one's will, within the framework of ethics and law. Freedom does not mean living without responsibility. On the contrary, true freedom requires us to be responsible for our choices and actions. When we live as we wish, we must also ensure that our actions do not harm others and comply with social rules. Freedom and responsibility go hand in hand, creating a harmonious and balanced life. Freedom brings immense value to each person's life. When we have the freedom to choose and pursue what we love, we feel happier and more fulfilled. Freedom allows us to create, explore, and develop ourselves comprehensively. It helps us live a complete and meaningful life, unbounded by unnecessary barriers. That is the core value of freedom, the right to live as we wish. Whenever someone helps or hinders you, or praises or criticizes you, remember that they see you only through the lens of their own impressions. If they act or speak from a warped perspective, they hurt themselves, not you. Each person has their own perspective based on their experiences, beliefs, and personal values. When someone helps, hinders, praises, or criticizes you, they do so through their subjective lens. Their assessments and actions reflect more about them than about you. Understanding this helps us stay calm and not let others' words or actions overly affect our mood and self-confidence. When receiving praise or criticism, it is important to recognize that these feedbacks often reflect the other person's perspective and emotions. If someone speaks or acts from a distorted or negative viewpoint, they are only harming themselves, not you. By maintaining your stance and understanding your own value, you can protect yourself from negative impacts and maintain confidence. Instead of focusing too much on others' opinions and actions, concentrate on developing and improving yourself. Self-awareness and honest self-assessment will help you understand your strengths and weaknesses better, allowing you to plan for improvement and growth. Consider feedback from others as reference information, but do not let it determine your worth. True personal development comes from within and through continuous self-learning. In banquets, remember that you entertain two guests, body and soul. And whatever you shall have given to the body, you soon eject. But what you shall have given to the soul, you keep always. In life, we must always balance nurturing both the body and the soul. The body requires material needs such as food, water, and rest. However, what we provide for the body has only temporary effects and will soon be expended. In contrast, what we nurture for the soul, such as knowledge, love, and inner peace, remains with us forever, creating a meaningful and rich life. What we invest in our soul brings long-lasting and profound value. When we take time to learn, reflect, and develop spiritually, we are building an invaluable inner treasure. Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding never fade away, but stay with us, helping us face life's challenges and difficulties. These are values that cannot be lost or destroyed. A balanced life is when we know how to nurture both the body and the soul. Pay attention to providing what is necessary for your physical health, but don't forget to dedicate time and energy to care for your soul. Engage in activities that help you develop intellectually and spiritually, such as reading, meditating, or participating in community activities. By doing so, you will experience harmony and fulfillment in life and achieve sustainable happiness. Be careful with who you communicate with. People tend to imitate habits. Those with whom we interact, we inadvertently adopt their interests, their opinions, their values, and their habits interpret events. The communication environment has a significant impact on us. The people we regularly interact with shape our worldview. We are easily influenced by their habits, viewpoints, and values. Frequent exposure to positive and optimistic people will help us adopt a similar mindset, whereas interacting with negative individuals can easily draw us into a cycle of pessimism and disappointment. We often unconsciously accept and adopt the habits and values of those around us. This happens naturally and unintentionally because humans tend to adapt and integrate with their surroundings. Be mindful in selecting your friends and colleagues, as their habits and values will gradually permeate your life. Being aware of this helps us be more proactive in choosing a suitable communication environment. The habits and values of each person strongly influence how we interpret events around us. The same event can be perceived and reacted to differently by different people, based on what they have accepted and believe. Stay alert and ask yourself whether the viewpoints and values you hold are truly your own or merely reflections of those around you. This helps you maintain your stance and develop a more objective and independent perspective. It's not a pity that a person was born or died, that he lost his money at home. All this property does not belong to him, but it's a pity if a person loses his true property or his dignity. Material possessions, whether money, houses, or wealth, are merely temporary and do not truly belong to us. They can be lost at any time due to unexpected reasons, such as natural disasters, theft, or other incidents. Losing material possessions is something no one desires, but it is not the greatest disaster in life. It is important to understand that these material things do not determine the true value of a person. The true assets of each person lie in their spiritual and moral qualities. Dignity, self-respect, integrity, and character are values that cannot be measured by money. When we uphold our dignity and self-worth, we create an invaluable asset that no one can take away. This is the core of respect and self-confidence, and it is what truly determines a person's value. The most regrettable thing in life is not losing material possessions, but losing dignity and self-respect. When we act against our values and principles, we lose the most important part of ourselves. This loss not only hurts the soul, but also affects how others perceive us. Losing dignity is losing the true asset, and this is what is truly regrettable and most worthy of preservation. Good luck frees many men from punishment, but no man from fear. Luck can help many people avoid temporary punishments or evade troubles in life. However, luck is only a temporary and unstable factor. We cannot rely on luck to ensure long-term safety and success. Depending on luck keeps us living in a state of anxiety and uncertainty because we never know when luck will change. Although luck can help avoid punishment, it cannot free people from fear. Fear is an internal emotion arising from worries and uncertainties about the future and uncontrollable events. No matter how lucky we are, fear always exists, preventing us from feeling truly safe and at peace. To overcome fear, we need to seek confidence and steadfastness from within. Instead of depending on luck, we should build resilience and confidence to face life's challenges. Confidence helps us believe in our abilities and not be swayed by external events. When we are clear about our goals and values, we are no longer controlled by fear. This is the true path to achieving freedom and peace, overcoming all worries and insecurities. A smart person fights passion, but a fool becomes its slave. Passion and temptation can bring us exciting experiences and temporary joy. However, they can also lead us into uncontrollable and harmful situations. Uncontrolled passion can turn into temptation, pulling us away from our true goals and values. Understanding the nature of passion and temptation helps us make wise decisions and not get carried away by fleeting emotions. Smart people understand that to live a meaningful and successful life, they need to know how to control and regulate their passions. Instead of letting passion dominate and dictate their actions, they use passion as a motivation to develop and improve themselves. This requires self-discipline and the ability to self-control, knowing when to push forward and when to hold back. By doing so, they can effectively harness passion without letting it turn into temptation. Foolish people let passion control them and become its slaves. They are easily swayed by temptations and unable to restrain themselves, leading to negative consequences for their life and career. Instead of using passion as a driving force, they let it dominate all their decisions and actions. As a result, they lose their freedom, lose control, and cannot achieve long-term goals. Letting passion become the master leads them into a state of disorientation and confusion. Do not try to seem wise to others. If you want to live a wise life, live it on your own terms and end your own eyes. Many people try to appear wise in front of others, but in reality, they are just creating an external facade. True wisdom does not come from displaying or boasting knowledge, but from deep understanding and personal experience. When we try to appear wise before others, we easily fall into the trap of illusion and complacency, losing the opportunity for real learning and development. To live a wise life, we need to live according to our own values and principles. Wisdom is not something we need to prove to others, but is about understanding and self-awareness. Focus on developing yourself, learning and experiencing in your own way. When you live true to your values, you will feel satisfied and confident without needing to seek recognition from others. Living a wise life means evaluating yourself through your own perspective, not through the eyes of others. The important thing is to know who you are, what you are doing, and why you are doing it. Evaluate yourself honestly and continuously improve. Wisdom comes from within, from the ability to self-reflect and continuously learn. When you live this way, you will find true peace and happiness. The essence of philosophy is that a man should so live that his happiness shall depend as little as possible on external things. Happiness based on material things and external factors is often not sustainable. Luxurious items, wealth, or social status can bring temporary joy, but they cannot guarantee long-term happiness. When we rely too much on external things, we easily become unstable when these things disappear or change. True happiness should not be bound by these uncertain factors. A wise life philosophy encourages us to seek happiness from within, rather than relying on external factors. Inner happiness comes from understanding oneself, accepting and loving oneself, and developing spiritual and intellectual values. When we find joy in simple and meaningful things, happiness becomes sustainable and not easily shaken by external changes. Practicing a simple and self-sufficient lifestyle is a way to reduce dependence on external factors. Focus on what is truly important and meaningful to you, and learn to be content with what you have. Instead of chasing fleeting material things, invest in self-development and building good relationships. Self-sufficiency and simplicity in life help us experience true and lasting happiness. People shouldn't have many friends because you'll get tired of getting knives out of your back. In life, having many friends does not always bring joy and support. Sometimes having a large number of friends comes with insincere and untrustworthy relationships. Insincere friends can cause hurt and disappointment, leaving us exhausted from dealing with conflicts and betrayals. Therefore, instead of focusing on quantity, we should prioritize the quality of our relationships. A few sincere and trustworthy friends are much more valuable than a large number of superficial relationships. True friends will always be there for you during difficult times, ready to listen and support you. They not only bring joy, but also help you grow and improve yourself. Spend time and energy building and maintaining quality relationships with friends you can fully trust. Having too many friends can make you feel tired and stressed, especially when dealing with negative relationships. To protect yourself and maintain inner peace, select relationships that are truly meaningful. This does not mean living in isolation, but rather focusing on those who genuinely bring positive value to your life. Learn to say no to unhealthy relationships and preserve your own peace. A ship should not ride on a single anchor, nor life on a single hope. Diversifying goals, dreams, and plans helps us become more flexible and resilient when facing challenges. When one path encounters obstacles, we still have other options to move forward. Diversification not only brings stability, but also expands opportunities and potential for growth in life. Preparing multiple plans and contingencies helps us be ready to cope with unforeseen changes. If we have only one hope and it does not come true, we easily fall into a state of disappointment and disorientation. However, when we have various plans and beliefs, we can quickly adjust and continue our journey without interruption. Flexibility and adaptability are key to maintaining long-term stability and success. Life becomes rich and meaningful when we have multiple sources of motivation and beliefs. Seek joy and inspiration from various aspects such as work, hobbies, family, and friends. When we develop multiple hopes and goals, we will always have something to strive for and feel energized. This not only helps us overcome difficulties, but also makes life more diverse and interesting. You become what you give your attention to. Focus is one of the most important factors determining our success and happiness. When you devote your full attention to one area, you will develop skills, knowledge, and deep understanding in that field. Just like an artist spends hours perfecting their work, continuous focus helps you excel in the area you pursue. This demonstrates that you become what you put your mind and effort into. Your environment and daily habits have a significant impact on what you become. If you focus your attention and time on positive and meaningful activities, you will develop positively. Conversely, if you are drawn into negative habits or unhealthy environments, it will adversely affect your life and who you are. Carefully choose your environment and habits to build a better and more meaningful life. Self-awareness and life direction are keys to becoming the best version of yourself. Take time to reflect on what is truly important and meaningful to you. When you know clearly what you want and what goals you aim for, you will easily focus your attention and effort on those things. Directed focus not only helps you achieve success, but also brings lasting satisfaction and happiness. To ascend the sun, there is no need for prayer, no need for incantation, no. It suddenly begins to send its rays for the joy of all. So do not expect nor applause, nor noise, nor praise to do good. Do good deeds voluntarily and be loved like the sun. Just as the sun naturally shines and brings joy to everyone without needing prayers or spells, our good deeds should also come from kindness and the desire to share. When doing good, do not expect recognition or fame. The truth is, actions that come from the heart will naturally bring joy and happiness to both the receiver and the giver. True recognition comes from the inner satisfaction of knowing that you have done the right thing. Doing good deeds voluntarily and sincerely is the best way to create positive change in the community. When we do good not for personal gain or praise, we become a source of inspiration and joy for others. Like sunlight shining everywhere, our good deeds will spread and benefit everyone. Let your actions be guided by kindness and sincerity. When you do good deeds voluntarily and expect nothing in return, you will receive love and respect from everyone naturally. Just as the sun brings light and life without expecting anything in return, your good deeds will also be remembered and appreciated. Let love and gratitude come to you naturally through sincere and meaningful actions. Like the sunlight, shine and bring joy to the lives of those around you. People are happy to find an excuse for their transgressions, while philosophy teaches not to stretch without thinking, even a finger. Many people often seek reasons to justify their wrong actions. This helps them temporarily soothe their conscience and avoid facing responsibility. However, continuously justifying mistakes not only diminishes personal moral values, but also hinders self-improvement and growth. Instead of avoiding responsibility, we should learn to accept it and correct our mistakes. Philosophy encourages us to think carefully before acting, even in the smallest actions. From thorough consideration to not acting without thinking, philosophy teaches us the importance of self-control and deliberation. When we learn to think before we act, we will avoid many mistakes and live a more meaningful life. Acting responsibly not only helps us build a strong character, but also brings many benefits to society. When we think carefully before acting, we not only protect ourselves, but also avoid harming others. Responsible actions help build trust and respect from those around us, while also creating a positive and peaceful living environment. Always remember that every action we take has an impact, so choose to act thoughtfully and responsibly. You don't like to be a slave, don't make others a slave. Each of us values freedom and does not want to be bound or controlled. Personal freedom is not only a basic right, but also a necessary condition for people to develop and live a meaningful life. When we understand and appreciate the value of freedom, we should also understand that others have the right to live freely as we do. Empathizing with others, desire for freedom is the first step in building a just and compassionate society. When we do not want to be enslaved, we should not turn others into slaves. This means avoiding imposing and controlling others unreasonably. Respect their freedom and opinions, and do not force them to do things they do not want to do. An environment where everyone is respected and has a voice will create conditions for development and creativity, benefiting everyone. To truly live by the philosophy of not turning others into slaves, we need to practice fairness and equality in all relationships and daily activities. This includes listening to and respecting others' viewpoints, sharing responsibilities and benefits fairly, and always acting with kindness and respect. When we live fairly and respect others, we not only build a better society, but also create genuine and lasting relationships. Small-minded people blame others. Average people blame themselves. The wise see all blame as foolishness. People with a narrow mindset tend to blame others when faced with difficulties or failures. They do not realize that blaming others is merely a way to avoid responsibility and does not help solve the real problem. By blaming others, they learn nothing from their mistakes and miss the opportunity to improve themselves. This is an irresponsible action and reduces their ability to grow personally. People with an average mindset often blame themselves when encountering problems. They recognize that taking personal responsibility is the first step to learning and improving. However, excessive self-blame can lead to feelings of inferiority and loss of confidence. It is important to balance taking responsibility and not overly self-criticizing. Self-awareness and continuous improvement are the keys to progress. Wise people understand that blaming, whether others or themselves, is meaningless. Instead of wasting time and energy on finding who is right or wrong, they focus on understanding the root cause of the problem and finding ways to solve it. Wisdom comes from the ability to view problems objectively and not be influenced by negative emotions. When no longer bound by the act of blaming, they achieve freedom and inner peace and can make more sound decisions. Don't seek to have events happen as you wish, but wish them to happen as they do happen, and all will be well with you. Life often does not unfold the way we want it to. When we try to force events to happen according to our wishes, we easily fall into a state of disappointment and frustration when things do not go as planned. Instead, learn to accept reality as it is. By letting go of expectations and accepting things as they are, we can reduce stress and find peace within ourselves. When we accept reality and adapt to changes, we free ourselves from unnecessary suffering and worry. True freedom comes from the ability to be flexible and adapt to any situation. Remember, we cannot control everything around us, but we can control how we react and adapt to those changes. This brings long-lasting peace and happiness. Living in the present and appreciating what is happening helps us enjoy life to the fullest. When we stop expecting and start accepting everything as it is, we can see the beauty and meaning in every moment. Let each day be a gift, and each experience a valuable lesson. In this way, we not only find satisfaction, but also create a life full of meaning and happiness. No matter what happens, it is within my power to turn it to my advantage. Positive thinking is one of the most powerful tools that helps us overcome difficulties and turn them into opportunities. When we face challenges with an optimistic mindset, we will see potential and opportunity in every situation. Instead of being defeated by obstacles, we learn to view them as stepping stones for personal growth and improvement. The ability to turn difficulties into opportunities depends not only on mindset, but also on skills and perseverance. When we face challenges, focus on finding solutions and learning from each experience. Each difficulty brings a valuable lesson, and as we persist in finding ways to overcome, we become stronger and wiser. Remember, no challenge is insurmountable if we are determined and creative. Being proactive and taking control of our lives is crucial in turning any situation to our advantage. When we realize that we have the power to shape our future, we become more confident in making decisions and taking actions. Build clear plans and set specific goals, always ready to adjust when necessary. Proactivity and determination will help us overcome all difficulties and achieve success in life. Who is the rich man? He who is content. Wealth is not only measured by money and possessions, but also by satisfaction and happiness in life. A person can possess many material riches, but still feel lacking and insecure. On the contrary, someone who is content with what they have, lives a simple life filled with love and joy, is truly wealthy. True wealth lies in inner satisfaction and the ability to enjoy simple things. Contentment and sufficiency bring many benefits to both mental and physical health. When we are content with what we have, we reduce stress, anxiety, and the pressure of always seeking and chasing new things. Contentment allows us to live a peaceful life, appreciating the beauty and meaning of each moment. This is the foundation for a happy and healthy life. To become content and sufficient, we need to practice gratitude and appreciate what we have. Take time each day to reflect and write down what you are grateful for, from the smallest things to the larger ones. This way, we focus on the positive and nurture a spirit of contentment. Additionally, learn to let go of unrealistic expectations and focus on spiritual rather than material values. When we appreciate and value what we have, we will truly experience genuine wealth. It is our attitude towards events, not events themselves, which we can control. Nothing is by its own nature calamitous. Even death is terrible, only if we fear it. Our attitude towards events in life plays a decisive role in how we experience and overcome them. Events themselves are neither good nor bad. It is our perspective and reaction that shape our perception of them. When we maintain a positive and resilient attitude, we can turn challenges into opportunities to learn and grow. The right attitude helps us control the situation and find inner peace. No event is inherently a disaster. It is how we view and confront them that determines this. Difficulties and challenges only become terrible if we let fear and worry dominate us. By changing our perspective and attitude, we can turn obstacles into important stepping stones. Remember, every difficulty brings lessons and opportunities for us to become stronger and wiser. Death and the inevitable only become frightening when we fear them. When we accept that there are things beyond our control and remain calm in the face of them, we reduce anxiety and fear. Accepting the impermanence of life and focusing on living fully in the present is the way to achieve inner peace. Let a positive attitude and acceptance guide you, helping you live a meaningful life, not dominated by fear. Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself. Tolerance towards others is a sign of understanding and compassion. Everyone has their own unique circumstances and experiences, and therefore, their perspectives and actions will differ. When we are tolerant, we create a harmonious and friendly environment where everyone feels respected and heard. Tolerance not only helps build good relationships, but also encourages personal and community development. Being strict with oneself is a way to motivate ourselves to achieve higher standards and develop personal abilities. This does not mean self-torture or excessive self-blame, but rather always setting high goals and persistently pursuing them. By demanding more from ourselves, we not only improve ourselves, but also become a good example for those around us. Strictness helps us maintain discipline and achieve long-term success. The balance between being tolerant of others and strict with oneself is the key to achieving harmony and progress. When we are tolerant of the mistakes and shortcomings of others, we encourage learning and improvement. At the same time, when we are strict with ourselves, we set high standards and continuously strive to meet them. This balance helps us become good leaders and collaborators, creating a positive and effective working and living environment. If what you have seems insufficient to you, then though you possess the world, you will yet be miserable. When we feel that what we have is not enough, even if we possess the whole world, we still feel miserable. Dissatisfaction arises from the soul, from the never-ending desires and cravings. When the mind is always seeking what it doesn't have, we miss the joy and happiness from what we already have. The emptiness of the soul cannot be filled with material things, but needs to be healed by appreciating and being content with the present. Gratitude and contentment with what we have are the keys to achieving happiness and inner peace. When we practice gratitude, we focus on the positive and beautiful things in life. This helps our soul feel complete and no longer driven by unnecessary desires. Take time each day to reflect and write down what you are grateful for, thereby fostering a more positive and happy attitude. True contentment comes from accepting oneself and living a balanced life. When we understand that not everything is perfect and learn to accept imperfections, we find peace and happiness. Living a balanced life between work, family, and personal time helps us experience the true meaning of life. Remember, happiness does not come from possessing everything, but from appreciating and enjoying what we have. If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. To truly progress, we need to be willing to embrace humility and learn from our mistakes. When starting to learn something new, no one can avoid making mistakes or feeling unintelligent. However, these mistakes are the most valuable lessons. The willingness to accept that we do not know everything and dare to ask seemingly silly questions is the first step to unlocking new knowledge. The fear of being judged by others is a significant barrier to personal development. When we worry about being seen as stupid or ignorant, we limit our ability to learn and improve. Instead of letting this fear control us, focus on the goal of self-improvement. Remember, progress does not come from always being right, but from learning through mistakes and continually trying. The process of self-improvement requires persistence and determination. Sometimes, others may not understand or may underestimate our efforts, but it is crucial that we are clear about our own goals. Persistence in learning and practicing will gradually yield results. Remember, every expert was once a beginner and went through phases of being considered foolish. The important thing is not to give up and continue on the path of learning and growth. Anger, if not restrained, is frequently more hurtful to us than the injury that provokes it. When anger is not controlled, it can cause much more serious consequences than the event that initially made us angry. Anger can make us lose control, act thoughtlessly, and cause harm to ourselves and others. Impulsive actions in a fit of anger can lead to strained relationships, loss of respect from those around us, and even harm our mental and physical health. Self-control is an important skill that helps us deal with anger effectively. When we learn to restrain and manage our emotions, we can avoid the negative consequences that uncontrolled anger brings. Try techniques such as deep breathing, meditation, or taking a moment to think before reacting. Self-control not only helps us maintain calm, but also improves our relationships and overall health. Instead of letting anger dictate our actions, seek positive and constructive solutions. When faced with a frustrating situation, try to listen and understand the other person's perspective, while clearly and calmly expressing your own feelings. Seeking solutions instead of merely venting emotions will help us resolve issues effectively and maintain good relationships. Patience and the ability to resolve conflicts amicably are signs of maturity and wisdom. And those are the profound philosophies we wanted to share with you today. We hope these teachings have brought you new reflections and inspiration on how to live a meaningful and happy life. Remember, change begins from within, from how we perceive and react to life. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to click like, subscribe, and share it with your friends and family. This not only motivates us to continue producing quality content, but also helps spread these beautiful life philosophies to more people. Thank you for watching and supporting our channel. See you in the next videos where we will explore more valuable life philosophies and lessons together. Have a wonderful and meaningful day.